Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And I usually don't do face cam videos for things like this, but I really wanted to get here and talk to you guys, especially how things played out this past week for the Bears against the New York Jets. The topic of discussion has been coming up even more. Should Justin Fields sit the rest of this 2022 NFL season to get healthy? I have a lot to say about it. I have deeper thoughts on it, and this is what the video is going to be about today. But before I get into that, make sure you guys leave this video a like. As it always, it continues to help this channel to grow, and it beats the YouTube algorithm. And if you are one of the people that are not subbed to the channel, make sure you guys click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of background and get you guys up to speed, Justin Fields suffered a shoulder injury late in the Atlanta Falcons contest in week 11, and it ended up being a separated shoulder with a little bit of damage, and he ended up missing this past week's game against the New York Jets. And seeming how the game against the New York Jets played out, with the Bears losing Darnell Mooney to possibly the rest of the season, with the Bears with the injuries on the defensive side of the ball with Brisker and Gordon. Claypool dealing with some injuries. The offensive line has been dealing with some injuries. The running back position, Khalil Herbert, is now dealing with injuries. The subject has come up in more and more talks. Should Justin Fields actually sit the season now that things are kind of playing out the way they are? One of those injuries that is on his non-throwing shoulder but could get worse, or the way he plays, he has to really learn to protect himself if he was to go out there. Now, this season has almost been a drastic difference from last season as far as Justin Fields' play has been. And we look at some of the numbers. Justin Fields on 2021, which is his rookie year, he completed 58% of his passes for 1,870 yards, 7 TDs, and 10 interceptions in 12 games and 10 starts last year. This year, he started 11 games and played in 11 games. He has a 59.6% completion percentage, which is not much higher. The yardage just went down a little bit with 1,642 yards, and he has 13 touchdown passes to 8 interceptions. Now, the biggest difference is to where things have started to change for Justin Fields is, number one, the way that Luke Getsy has been using him as far as running the football and the hits that Justin Fields has taken over this season. Now, last year, Justin Fields had 72 carries for the entire year for only 420 yards and 2 rushing scores. This year has changed absolutely dramatically, as Justin Fields has had 122 carries, 834 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And on the sack numbers, they are not really that much different. He sacked 36 times last year, which was 11% of his dropbacks. He was sacked 40 times this year up to this point on 14.9% of his dropbacks. So when you look at the hits that Justin Fields has suffered within this offense, the way that the passing game has been for the Bears all season long, whether it's been the struggles along the offensive line, whether you had Mustafa and Lucas Patrick in and out of the lineup, Cody Whitehair missing time, Braxton Jones has been the only mainstay, Larry Borom has missed some time due to injury. You have guys like Dakota Dozier, who they brought in, and he was out for the season. Riley Reef has played, and he has been in and out of the lineup. And then on top of that, you have Tevin Jenkins, who has been dealing with injuries in his own right. So this Bears offensive line, for the most part this season, has been pretty much a makeshift or a patchwork offensive line all season, and it has suffered in pass protection. Now, the running game for the Bears has been tremendous, of course, with Fields, Montgomery, and Herbert. But some of the injuries on the offensive side of the ball for the Bears are starting to pile up now that you have Darnell Mooney that could possibly miss the rest of the season with an ankle injury. Khalil Herbert has been on IR, and he has missed the last 2 games. David Montgomery has missed time this year. So the injuries and the lack of play on the offensive line has contributed to Justin Fields taking a lot of hits and Justin Fields' injury. Now, we can also look at another thing, and that is the wide receiver play. Darnell Mooney has been the only thing that's been mainly consistent for the Bears wide receiving core this year. Kmet has stepped up within the last couple of games, but the wide receiver position for the Bears has been inconsistent. Byron Pringle has been out of the lineup due to various injuries. You have a guy like N'Keal Harry who was out of the lineup due to a high ankle sprain and has been inactive. Velus Jones has been inactive. You have a guy like Equanimeous St. Brown, who is not the best receiver, but he's good in blocking. Dante Pettis has had his share of issues. When you look at this Bears offense, there are a multitude of reasons why some of the numbers are struggling with the Bears this season, and there's a number of reasons why Justin Fields hasn't been healthy, and he's been taking a lot of hits, whether it's receivers not consistently being open. Justin Fields doesn't have a lot of trust in him, and you can see that with some of the throws that Trevor Siemian made in this past week's game versus the throws that Justin Fields has been making. And the receivers just have not been consistently open, which leads to him scrambling, which leads to him running around trying to make things happen with his legs. Even though Justin Fields, we all know he has been getting better and better week by week, and you can see the vast improvement not only in the passing game, but the way that Luke Getsy has started to use him in the running game. But it was only a matter of time with the uses of Justin Fields in a running game that an injury or some nicks and bumps were going to happen. And at this point, the Bears season is pretty much a watch. It is pretty much a tank year with the way that things have played out. Now, we're going into this year, we did not expect the Bears to really be a very good football team, if you want to be completely honest. And now with the trades of Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn during the year, the level of expectations for the Bears to win have went absolutely down. We have a Bears offense that is ranked in the bottom as far as throwing the football, and Justin Fields has a little bit to do with that as well. The offensive line has a lot to do with it, and the receiving core has a lot to do with that as well. And when we look at the Bears roster, is not a very talented football team. So even from this point going forward, you're not going to really expect the Bears to win too many football games. On the other side of the argument, I am one that thinks that you can only get better as a football player by repetition. Now, of course, if Justin Fields is not healthy enough, that is another issue. I don't believe in shutting him down for the entire season, even when he's healthy. The wide receiving injuries hurts that. Even with Chase Claypool, he has been down, and he went down last week, and we don't know what the extent of his injury is, especially after just trading for him from the Steelers at the trading deadline. Now, I do believe they need more game action together, Fields and Claypool, in order to get some rapport. Now, of course, a lot of people are going to say that you can establish that during the offseason, and you can, but there is no substitute for live game action. So I do see this argument as if Justin Fields should play or not from both standpoints, as in the other one side is the Bears aren't going to go anywhere this year. The Bears aren't going to win that many football games. The injuries are piling up. The team is not very talented. So you really are taking a risk by throwing Justin Fields out onto the football field, especially with the roster like this. But on the other side of the equation, and where I stand, you only get better by repetition and live game action, full speed, regular season live game action. To answer the question, should Justin Fields sit the season? No, because you're only going to get better by repetition. Now, he's been getting better every single week, and we've seen it. And coming into this year, the question that was the biggest is, can Justin Fields play, and is he the guy for your future? The answer to those questions is both. Yes, he can play, and he is the guy for the Bears' future. But if healthy, and if he can protect himself from hits, and if he can protect himself from injuries and definitely protect that shoulder, Justin Fields should be out there playing football, getting reps, getting more used to Luke Getsy's offense, because he's in the second year of his second offense already. We all know what happened with Matt Nagy last season, and he has Luke Getsy this year. So I think the more rapport that Getsy gets with Fields and then Fields gets with the offense, you're only going to get better, because I believe that you take his lumps and he gets better this year and he gets the most reps that he can. And then next year, when the Bears start to spend some of that free agent money, make some moves to improve this roster, you don't have to take the first few weeks of the season to get him back acclimated to necessarily live game action and getting back acclimated to this offense, and still implementing more as the first few games of next season goes along. A lot of those things would have already been installed later on with the games this year, and then next year, he can hit the ground running. So my opinion, Justin Fields should absolutely play, if healthy, at some point the rest of this season. But those are just my thoughts on that. Make sure you guys leave this video a like. As it always continues to help this channel to grow. Comment your thoughts down below. Do you think that Justin Fields should play the rest of this year, or should he sit? And as always, click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.